Florida's service sales coach, Joe Crisara.
Welcome to the Service MVP Podcast, the show that helps home service professionals master high-value sales, build stronger client relationships, and grow their business like never before. Join industry experts as they share real strategies that drive results. If you're ready to level up your service game, you're in the right place. Let's get started.
It's the Service MVP Podcast.
A specialist, and I coach blue-collar companies like plumbers, heating and air conditioning people, garage door electricians, and landscapers, just people who grind it out every day. I coach them how to create an in-home client experience for their client that results in the science of connecting, the science of pricing, the science of project management. So basically, as a result of it, the normal service provider, knowing the science of all those things, connects better, diagnoses better, makes the prices better, and winds up profiting about 5 to 7 times more than they would if they did not have the training we do. Because I think most people are just trained on the job they do. They're not trained on the way to communicate value for that job. So basically, what we do is we help people communicate value for whatever kind of a business they do.
That's awesome. And value, not price, which I think so many businesses get stuck on, right? Hey, what's the price? What's the price? No. Let's talk about the value.
I'd say the pricing is sometimes a mystery, but it's actually a science. It's not a mystery.
Yeah.
The answer is you have to charge more, but then the other answer is you have to communicate higher value. It's got to be able to, you got to communicate it both, not just with the words you use, but also with the actions you take. And so, the commitment that you display by the actions you take are what speaks loudly, to people.
Yeah, 100%. I actually completely agree with you. And I'd love to ask a little bit more on the origin story of the company and all those things. But I just wanted to add something very quickly, even for one of the people we've worked with a couple of years back. Just always this talk of value and the offer and the framing and all those things. And just by being able to optimize that very, very well, easily, double the price, sold more consistently. Nothing else, just better value, which is a full testament to exactly what you're just saying. Just really being able to portray that in a very, very efficient way. So awesome. Great start. I love that already. And then I'd love to understand too. Tell me about the origin story of the organization. How did that come about? And yeah, share that spark that created this entire thing for you.
Well, when I started out, I was like an expert plumber, an HVAC technician, electrician. So I knew my trade very well, but I didn't know how to price the product out or how to communicate to the client. Really, I just thought that the work speaks for itself, but I didn't realize it doesn't speak for itself. And so I wound up thinking that the way to price things out was find what other people were charging and then charge a little bit less. That was my only method at the time. Then I realized that you have to use your own financials to see how much does it cost to do business. Then you have to charge more than it costs to make a profit. And so there's a reality of the pricing being a certain way. And so because of that reality, I wasn't following that reality. I was gaslighting myself, thinking everything would just take care of itself. I think most businesses that are not successful, they kind of willingly gaslight themselves into thinking, oh, we'll turn the corner. We'll just sell more stuff. It'll be better tomorrow. But it never got better. And I wound up being about $500,000 in debt by 1991. And then one of my customers noticed that I wasn't doing very well. And he offered me advice on how to change the pricing. And just like you said, by the little bit of pricing change, instead of giving one price, I began giving premium, mid-range, and economy choices for my services. The prices more or less doubled immediately. So I wound up doing twice as much right away. Now I probably do about 30 times as much as I originally started out doing. So, and I teach people for instance, like the average HVAC person might charge $5,000 to do an air conditioning unit. My people would average about $25,000 for that same thing. Not for the same thing, but they offer more. They do more stuff in the premium option, more services, more consumables, and things like that. So more of a bigger package, if you will. I know it sounds super simple. Like if you go to a car wash, you see the one's got the detail for $169, and you got the other one, the mini wash for $15, and you see the same concept basically. When anybody who has any kind of a service could offer those choices and immediately start making more money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you don't change, nothing changes. right?
Right. If you only offer the cheapest thing, then you're always going to be broke, or you're going to be always trying to, you're always struggling for money. When you offer something more premium, you're getting the client uh, to take accountability on the bigger solution, which is more work, but is also more profitable. Instead of driving around to 5 jobs, you can make the same amount of money on the one job and not drive around to 5 different places.
Yeah, yeah.
Waste your time.
Yeah, and it also just becomes a race to the bottom, right? It's like who can undercut each other the most, and then everybody's now losing money to work. It's like, hey, no, this is totally upside down. That's not how things should be. And it's so interesting as well because I think in a way the ability to charge higher also shows how it's instant value perception for someone else. If they see, like, if you're the cheapest, you simply cannot be the best, right? So someone see the cheap price and
Yeah,
they
there's a law called the law of association,
exactly.
where if you are associated with the cheapest price, we all know that that can't be very good. Like if we went to a place in Paris, France, and we don't speak French, but we saw the price was only $2 for something, we know it wouldn't be very much food, or it wouldn't be very good. Where something that costs $75, it associates with a much higher quality, probably going to have some beef or pastry or something that's, because for 75 euros or dollars, it better be pretty good. It better be pretty good, or else I'm not going to, you know. So I think it challenges you to create a higher quality when you charge a higher price. So if you started with a higher price and said, "What can I do to make that price worth it?" You're on the right track. You're saying, "What more could I do for the customer to charge something?" Like if you're whatever business you're in, you need to make a certain amount of money. You say, "What do I need to do?" Like for me, it might be like, I could get a coaching package for this much, and I could say if I did a coaching package and I visited their location and flew into town and work with them, it'd probably be worth 3 times as much than the coaching package, right? If I gave them personal attention throughout the whole year, even that would be worth twice as much. So, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that are people do, and really every business has got that ability to do it. They just don't realize they're standing on top of a gold mine.
What do you think are those biggest barriers, those biggest mistakes that they're making that doesn't allow them to either have that right perception or just take the action to get them to make more money?
I think the first mistake that I made was the same mistake everybody makes, which is you look at the competition as a reference for the price. And that's a mistake because the competition doesn't have the same cost of doing business that you have, right? So you're doing it's a false parallel. You're creating a parallel. It's a fake. You're fooling yourself because your overhead and your cost of doing business is either lower or more. It's not the same as the other person. So, and by the way, that person probably stole the price from somebody else too. So you're probably taking a flawed model and just copying it because nobody ever told the person that you need to calculate the break-even price and a profitable price, and nobody ever got the education on it. And I think what Stott said is that we don't focus on what our costs are to create a profitable price. We focus on what everybody else. We focus on the market, and the market only works when you're selling a commodity like tomatoes or gasoline or milk or something like that. When you're selling a service to do websites or landscaping or anything, pest control, the service is something that has a person behind it, and people cost more money than things, right? So
Yeah.
it's not a commodity as soon as somebody has to do it for you. If you can buy it at Amazon, then it's a commodity. But if it needs to be, somebody needs to take that part and install it, or take those papers and do the tax. If you have an accountant do the taxes for you, that's going to be more money because you're tapping this. You're buying somebody else's time, and time is service. Basically, you're buying.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest mistake is that people copy somebody else's price rather than figuring their own profitable price. Make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And sometimes that copying happens from a business that isn't making any money. So then
It's most likely. Yeah, you're copying from a flawed model from one copy to another. It's like blind leading the blind, as they say.
exactly through a shooting, and then nobody's knows what's going on in any place. So that's great to hear as well.
Thank you for listening and watching the Service MVP podcast. I want to give you a copy of my free book. Just click on the link below in the description, and one will be sent to you from me personally. Thank Thank you so much for listening.